So before starting the questions, I just want to understand a bit about yourself.
All right. So I'm Francis. I'm born and brought up in Bangalore and currently specializing in marketing MBA. And I'm pursuing my MBA from Christ University, Bangalore, Central Campus. So
Abhi, on camera, to again, you also have limitation that you cannot say. But in general, if I talk about Christ University, how it is when it comes to MBA, I've got
I'm gonna be
mixed kind of
brutally
feedbacks.
yes, I'm gonna be brutally honest with you.
Hmm.
All right. So yes, I would say the academically it is very hectic and rigorous,
Hmm.
but I would say that it trains you professionally to become better. All right. So my journey in Christ University was very transformative, honestly. Although the academics and the administration was, kind of, I would say strict, but it naturally brings discipline within you. You'll be better at learning time management, um, and collaborating with your peers to do your group assignments as well. So I would say, for me, it was overall a very good experience. Although it was hectic, I believe that it helped me grow professionally.
Have you got placed or like you're in your final year of post
Yes, I'm
graduation?
placed.
Sorry?
Yes, I'm placed currently.
Okay.
So I applied at ICICI Prudential Asset Management Company.
Mm-hmm.
It was a relationship manager role. Although I'm a marketing student, I had a core background in finance, so which helped me crack my interview during my placements. And yes, I'm currently placed at ICICI.
You comfortable with Hindi or is this English?
Hindi, a little bit, I would say, but yeah, I wouldn't be comfortable.
Okay, so we can keep it English to, reach more audience, right? A mix of Hindi and English, right? So shall we
But
start?
yes, we can start.
So hi and welcome back to this another episode with me, Arshi. I hope you guys are doing good. Welcome back to this episode. And today we have Francis with me for this particular episode. Before starting, my question is, Francis, सबसे पहले थोड़ा सा अपने बारे में.
Yes, so I'm Francis. I'm born and brought up in Bangalore. I'm 24-year-old, currently pursuing my MBA from Christ University in Bangalore. And well, I'm specialized in marketing, and I'll be graduating in another 3 months. And that's pretty much about me.
फ्रांसिस आपने ग्रेजुएशन में क्या किया एंड व्हाट मेड यू थिंक यार भाई एमबीए करने जाना चाहिए.
So basically, I pursued my bachelor's in commerce
Okay.
um, in finance and human resource.
Okay.
So the only reason I wanted to pursue an MBA was to take over my father's business. I wanted to expand his business.
Okay.
But then I realized I need a little bit of corporate exposure in order to expand the business. So I was not that very much confident to take over his business. So I thought, okay, maybe if I could have a decent experience in corporate for like 5 to 5 years or yeah, down the line, so probably I could take over. And also down the line, I would want to see myself as an entrepreneur. So which is why I chose MBA. It was not just because of placements or any other.
Acha, I have this question. You joined your MBA right after your graduation, or it was like a drop or something like that?
I joined MBA right after my graduation.
Right after your graduation. Acha, whenever we aspire to get into MBA colleges, we always and always dream by, let's everybody say that it's always and always better to get into all these tier one colleges. So you haven't thought, that, I should take a drop, write CAT. Let's give it a try whether I'll be able to make it to IIM Bangalore, which is there in Bangalore. Or what was your thought process?
So the only before joining MBA,
Hmm.
the only college I had in my mind was Christ University. I had no other options.
Okay.
Mainly because one thing, I'm born and brought up in Bangalore,
Hmm.
and I stay close by Korumangala.
Okay.
So yes, and Christ was the only option I had in my mind, and I didn't really wanted to get into Tier 1 college. Although although Taiwan colleges requires around 99% cutoff in CAT,
Hmm.
right? So I never tried appearing for CAT coachings or examinations, but I did go through some online classes for my math coaching, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, and yes, so Christ was a decent option for me because in terms of ROI,
Hmm.
the fee structure in Christ University is around 9 to 10 lakh for 2 years.
Okay.
And the average placements currently is around 6 to 8 LPA. That's the
Acha,
average
I have a confusion. Just a
salary
second.
package.
Initially when we were discussing, you specified that, you are in Christ University central campuses. So how many campuses does Christ have in Bangalore? So can you just
Yes.
give a little bit of idea to all those students who are watching this video?
So Christ has three campuses in Bangalore.
Okay.
The main campus or the central campus, you would say, is at Koramangala.
Okay.
And there are two other campuses, one which is located in Banargata
Okay.
and the other one is at Kengeri. And trust me, all are equally good. And when it comes to placement, all the campus comes to come together for the placement process. It's not like Central Campus would have a separate placement process or Kengeri would have a separate placement
So if
process.
I talk
We'll
about
we'll always come
batch
together.
24, 26, what was the batch size of your, batch?
Uh, uh, in Central Campus alone, the batch size was around 400 to 450 students.
And what
If
about
you
the other
could
campuses?
compare,
Do you have any idea about that?
yes. So including all the three campuses, I would say it's around 800 to 1,000 students.
Okay, cool. Acha, when we talk about Christ, I even interacted with a lot of students, and I've got to have these reviews that, yeah, it's more known for BBA and law. What do you want to say on this? You've been there for 2 years in the campus. You have your peers and everything. What do you think? Is it like a correct, thing, or it's not like that? MBA is also as good as BBA if I talk about Christ.
So I would say Christ is actually very good for all the courses, not just BBA or law alone. I would
Hmm.
say it's mainly because of the faculty and the way they teach beyond classrooms. It's
Hmm.
not just they don't limit you with just the textbook. They
Hmm.
try to bring industrialists from outside, and they try to teach you beyond classrooms. You'll have case studies every day. You'll have to do presentations every day. They tend to bring you out of your comfort zone. So,
Okay.
which is one thing, and it's not just limited to BBA or law. It is the overall thing in Crest University.
I have a question. Let's in case, there are lots and lots of information which are there online about Christ University. Like, what do you think? What makes it different? The way you're talking about TK, you have industry exposure, you have case studies, but I think it's quite similar. There are a lot of OB schools, they have kind of similar thing. What do you think? This is something which is like new, this is something which is different when it comes to Christ.
I would say the campus culture and
Hmm.
the diverse sets of people you meet here. So every day you come to college, you're gonna see some or the other event which is happening outside your building block.
Hmm.
It's either the junior students, or it would be undergrads or the postgrads. Every day there is an activity or an event which would be happening. You would see stalls. You would see people um, performing arts, and moreover, um, I would say that there are like n number of competitions, n number of clubs you could be a part of, and this is a very critical add-on to your resume. So yes, so in such ways, college will definitely support you, and moreover, they also give you access to various tools. I would say like various paid tools like some like SPSS, JNP software, and you'll also have access to various libraries online, which is usually paid. And yes, they just give the best to the students. I would say honestly, when it comes to academics and. the
If I talk
extracurricular.
about your admission process, your interview process, definitely you have mentioned that you applied through MAT, right? What was your percentile? You have any idea that how much you've scored in MAT?
Yes,
Through-
I scored. My percentage was 84 in math,
Okay, okay,
and I think during the time of my admission, the cutoff was around 65% for math,
okay, fine.
60 to 65.
So after your entrance score, you have applied for Christ University. What was the admission process? Was it just interview? Was it like GD and interview? I mean, what was the process?
Yes. So basically, you'll have to undergo through four types of tests,
Hmm.
right? So the first two tests would be written tests,
Okay.
where you have to write an essay about a random topic which they might give you.
Hmm.
And the second topic would be something like a small caselet, I would say, how you would go on to solve the problem.
Okay.
And then you will have a group discussion
Okay.
among your peers or the candidates who appear for
Hmm.
the interview. And after the group discussion, you'll have a micro presentation. So basically, micro presentation goes on like they'll give you a random topic
Hmm.
and they'll use 30 seconds to prepare and you'll have to talk about the topic for 2 minutes.
Okay. So they don't have to
And
apply, they have different kind of shortlisting process.
yes, after these four types of tests, you'll have your personal interview.
Oh my God, 5 rounds of shortlisting. Great. And what were the questions, they asked you when it comes to your interview?
So most since I was a fresher, so
Hmm.
most of the questions they asked was from my undergraduation
Okay.
and why MBA, why Christ,
Hmm.
and questions like in case I choose my specialization right now,
Hmm.
so why would you choose that specialization? And they would ask the basics, the foundations of those questions from the specialization, which an undergraduation would should be knowing, right? So by the time I was joining, I was a core finance student. I wanted to pursue a career in finance, but I transitioned myself into choosing marketing. So most of my questions during my interview was from finance, and I managed to crack the interview. And so your undergraduation will matter a lot when it comes to personal interview. And moreover, you should be well versed with current affairs.
Okay.
So yes, I think that is something which is really important in case you're getting into an MBA college.
As soon as you join the college, if we talk about your first year experience, your second year experience, what kind of transition you have seen on yourself in the 2 years of journey? Because, again, there's lots and lots of questions. Okay, if you're doing MBA from tier one colleges, makes sense. But if you're going to tier three colleges or tier two colleges again, I just want to see, let's say in case if you're getting into a B school, yeah, people know about Christ, but again, you have seen yourself changing, the transitions you have, seen in yourself. This is something which has got improved. So, what do you think? If I talk about, Francis, the very first year he joined, in 2024, and Francis in 2026.
So one of the key takeaway I would say from my journey in MBA was gaining confidence, honestly. So I was a very shy person, honestly. So like what the college does is that it tries to get you out of that comfort zone. All right. And moreover, you may not expect you'll be having presentations every day. You'll have to talk to hundreds of people or more than that. So and moreover, I would say that it really helped me to think better, enhance my leadership skill. You'll be put into peer groups where you'll have to lead your team and coordinate with other teams in order to bring out a project or yes. And moreover, you one of the key takeaway I would say was that you'll be having hands-on exposure in case you're doing any sort of project. So, example, if you're learning about digital marketing, here in Christ University, they don't just teach you from the textbook or give you the tools and teach you how to use those tools. In fact, what they will do is that they will tell you find a company, find an organization where you can go and do digital marketing. So once we find that organization, we'll have to prepare a 30-day or 60-day social media calendar, and we'll have to constantly do digital marketing as we learn,
Hmm.
and we need to show the outcomes to the to the faculty in order to get marks. So that's how we'll be having hands-on exposure along with industrial exposure when it comes to learning. So yes, this is something unique, I would say, compared to any other schools.
So when it comes to the clubs and committees, what all clubs you were? I mean, again, I can sense it, that yes, you are a marketing guy. I mean, is it
So
just for the camera, but or is it like real, real?
it is real, I would
It
say.
is real. Okay.
Although the college is like way too hectic, I would say,
Hmm.
and but yes, yes, it just helped me to grow professionally. Yes, talking about the clubs, there
Hmm.
are n number of.
You was a part of
I'm
which
I'm a
club?
I'm a part of the marketing club.
Okay.
Uh,
That's absolutely now I get it. Okay. So
I'm a part of.
what roles and responsibility comes under, I mean, when it comes to marketing club? What are the, day-to-day roles when it comes to marketing? What kind of activities you organize when it comes to this club?
Yes. So here in our club, so the roles keep changing, I would say. It's because everyone needs exposure.
Hmm.
And we in marketing club we invite industrialists to give a talk to the students on how things are actually going on. And moreover, we try to conduct activities and activities, or you could say kind of fun games where students could take part, and it would be a learning for them as
Hmm.
well. And moreover, we also collaborate with another club called M Tactic. So here, what we do is that they call industrialists, and they have a podcast
Okay.
about the industries and how things work. And yes,
I mean, you have a batch size of 450 students. You're already placed with ICICI, if I'm not wrong, right? What do you think,
yes.
I mean, again, I mean, there's still be students who are still in the process when it comes to placement. So what do you think, what was the thing which made you crack the company and the profile?
So one thing I would say is that ICSA was the first company I applied, honestly,
Hmm.
and moreover, it actually fit my background.
Hmm.
So I did not just apply for a role based on the CTC um, or the brand name itself. I just looked for the role which would suit me based on my background, which could make me stand out from my
Hmm.
competitors,
Hmm.
the other candidates. So since I had a finance background and currently pursuing marketing, so I relationship manager is something which which I could which was a good fit for me compared to the other candidates. And moreover,
Process. I mean,
when
if
it
I talk
comes
about,
to.
let's in case, the company, I mean, they shared you the JD, right? And after that, I mean, was it like 2 rounds? Was it interview or before interview? Was it like some sort of aptitude test? How was it? What do you think? I mean, this was the turning point. I thought, I'll be selected. I mean, that was the major reasons. Obviously, after receiving offer letter, you might have analyzed, yeah, this went well or this went wrong, So what do you want to say on that?
Yes, so okay. So talking about my interview process,
Hmm.
well, I had a group discussion, and then in which in group discussion around 20 to 30% of the students would get shortlisted,
Hmm.
and they would go on for the final round of the personal interview. So I would say yes, my group discussion went really well,
Hmm.
and usually in group discussions I try to be different, because that's when they tend to find that one odd one out.
Hmm.
So in my group discussions, yes, there is always a procedure. You need to initiate the conversation. You need a closure. But I usually try to stay away from giving an introduction of the topic and giving a closure of the topic, because introduction of the topic, of course, even the panelists would know the introduction of the topic. And if you give a closure on a GD, it's going to be balanced. So I wanted to get into the conversation, put in some intellectual points between, and make sure I just stay out from the points which should look very much balanced. So that's what I did in my GD, and I really think my GD went really well. And when it comes to personal interview, I think yes, my personal interview also went really well. I was brutally honest with them. I didn't I didn't try to lie about my resume or any other sort of thing. I was honest with them. I told if it's in Bangalore, I'm gonna work, or else I'm not gonna work.
Mm.
I'm not.
Okay.
So yes, my yeah.
So, I mean, do you think, can you answer this question after completing your MBA, that why MBA?
Why MBA? So yes, the only reason I wanted to do MBA is to learn. I wanted to grow professionally.
No, I
The
just want to
before
reframe this question. Reframe this question. I don't want key why MBA from you. So if I talk about, a lot of students are still in confusion that whether they should go for
yes.
MBA or not. It's overhyped. Somebody's saying that it's not worth it. So I just want to understand from your perspective, because you've completed your MBA, that why someone should do MBA.
I think in if you I think if they wanted to if they want to enhance their leadership capabilities, if they wanted to go out of that comfort zone, and this is a very volatile environment where we are in. It is even uncertain. You don't know how the job markets are changing, and companies also nowadays, they don't solely rely on your um, um, degree or your specialization. They wanted output. They want your skills to be on the job, on the work. So I feel is that if in case you're doing an MBA, make sure just don't do it for the sake of a degree. Do it with a passion that you tend to enhance your skills and get better. You need that motivation to change yourself, like to transform yourself into a person which you were not there, which you were not, which were not there 2 years back. So that's what I would say.
Okay. And one last question I have. See, like if I honestly talk about, that still, yeah, a lot of students give CAT, they give different entrance examination. They're confused. I'm not talking about, though you've completed your MBA from Christ, so you'll say that, yeah, it's a decent, but still, what do you think? What should be the top three, top four parameters on which a student needs to shortlist a B school?
Okay, so I would say keeping aside ROI,
Okay.
I would say see the professionalism of the college. Like you would actually you could actually um, go for a counseling session before the admission process.
Hmm.
You can see how professional the faculties are in Christ University, and not just Christ University, like any other
University.
colleges you go.
Hmm.
Yes, first professionalism, and second thing I would say is the infrastructure. Not big buildings or um, huge classrooms, but what they provide you. For example, here what they give us is that uh, an access to wide range of tools
Hmm.
which are actually paid. But yes, and moreover, they also help you to learn, learn and have an hands-on experience on the tools along with industrial experience. So they tend to align both classroom learning and industrial
Also,
experience.
I
So
have this
yes,
one. Hmm. Go ahead.
yes, and moreover, I would say apart from this, yeah, these two. I think these two factors would be much.
Do you think, that, English communication plays very important role when it comes to placement?
It depends. It
Okay.
depends, I would say. So, well, um, in case companies are looking for a sales role, and uh, any sort of marketing role, you need to communicate to people,
Hmm.
right? So in case if the it depends on the location we're applying for. In case you're applying for location in Chennai,
Hmm.
well, you don't find much people talking English over there when it comes to retail sales. Where
Hmm.
you'll have to go meet the local vendors in order to sell your product.
Hmm.
So English, yes, it matters to a extent, but I would say it also depends on how well you think and your critical thinking abilities that would stand out.
Okay. One last suggestion you want to give to all those aspirants who are watching your video.
Yeah, I would say in case you're choosing an MBA, try to don't do it for the sake of a degree. In fact, try to have a passion to learn, have a passion to enhance your skills, and try to be transformative, which you wouldn't regret. So you can say that, acha, okay, after 2 years, um, I'm gonna be like this. I'm gonna develop myself professionally and be much more ethical. That's what I would.
Thank you so much, Francis, for your time. I think I'm done with my questions. Thank you so much for
Yes.
spending this time. What business your father owns?
So he has a manufacturing company.
Okay.
So where he manufactures the high density polypropylene bags. So
Okay.
few of our clients are HUL, the Rupa Garment Company, and Tata, and few others. So like these three are the top companies in the portfolio. Yeah. So yes.
So, you first want to
So
learn from
basically
all
the
these
product
companies
is
you will be joining, and then you want to implement it to your business, right?
so basically the product is more like, how would I say, the cement bags you see.
Yes, yes.
Yes, those are high density polypropylene
Okay,
bags.
fine.
So which is
Acha,
so yeah.
this was so done for video, but in real, if I talk about, do you think, choosing Christ was the right decision?
Yes, it was. It was. Although the first semester I had to rethink why
Hmm.
did I choose MBA in the first place, but as it kept going on, I would say I really did a good decision.
Chalo.
So yes, of course, the environment is way too competitive.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, it's the competitive environment which makes you feel low, and
Hmm.
moreover, it's the faculty pressure, time management, attendance is a very big issue. You
Hmm.
have to have an attendance of 85%,
Hmm.
and in case you have even 0.01% below 85%, you won't be able to write the exam. So yeah, attendance and yeah, a lot of stuff. But I would say that it just helped me to grow professionally, and yeah, that's something I would really be thankful to Christ University.
Chalo, thank you so much, Francis, for your time. Best of luck for your future. I hope to see you shine and also your business to shine. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Arshi. Have a nice day.
Okay.
I hope you liked this video. For more such videos, keep watching our channel.
And do not forget to like, share, and subscribe.